Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast, and I'm back with another WNBA segment. And of course, reportedly that the CBA is finished, if not almost done. And there are a lot of improvements or enhancements that we have to talk about that were just completed and what that means for the future of the WNBA as well as other leagues as well. So reports have that the WNBA and the players have reached a tentative deal with the players with a lot of enhancements and pay increases, and I'll get into those in a little well, actually now. So the max salary will be over $1 million. So the super max is $1.4 million, which is huge, with average salaries of close to $600,000. So that's a huge boost. As we know, the rookies used to make around 60, 70 grand a year, which was very off-putting, especially with the trend of the league and the new money that was coming in, the new TV deals that they had. It just didn't add up financially. So kudos to those women and to those people that put the work on the ground to get this deal done, to get a start, because we know this is not the end, but it's a great start, especially for the upward mobility that the league is starting to see and the players that are coming behind it. Um, but one of the biggest things that I've noticed was teams must obtain player consent before trading a pregnant player. So it's the Dearica Hamby effect because we know that she had a lawsuit at one point against the Las Vegas Aces and her former coach for feeling like she was traded because she was pregnant and they couldn't use her at the time. So this was a big thing that I think was a part of her story and a part of her fight for the league, because if you can't trade an injured player, why could you trade a pregnant player? Because pregnancy is not. I mean, it's a disability in a way because you can't do the same things that you used to do. So if you're injured or if you're pregnant, it should be the same guidelines. You should be able to have consent from the player, and you should be able to not use that against a player, especially with the employment rules and the EEOC and things like that. So I think this was an excellent enhancement for the league and a big step for the league as far as women's rights, especially in the all woman league. They should have been had this one implemented. I'm surprised that this one wasn't a part of the original negotiation back in 1997 when they originally formed this league. So kudos to the players again for that deal. Uh, the league will also provide housing and league wide charter, which I think most teams had some kind of charter system set up, especially after, the last couple of years. But I think this is major as well because helping players with the housing and helping them with the charter will make the play better as well and less stress for the players to be able to get things done on the court and not have to worry about off the court issues and finances and things like that. So that's a big step for the league as well, a big step in the right direction. So that's much deserved and a much needed enhancement. But of course, the unfair critics of the WNBA, mostly people from like 520 and like the Joe Budden podcast, um, will think these things are undeserved or at the expense of Caitlin Clark, which these things were going to happen eventually anyway, regardless of who entered the league. One singular player or one singular team or one singular action cannot do all of these things, that it takes a group effort. So we can't contribute these things just to one thing or one player. These things have to be contributed to just the work of the women from all the way from the inception of the league that were fighting for these rights and fighting for, respect from other athletes and other fans that thought the sport was, disinteresting and boring. So this deal is about growth and projections. It's not about your personal beliefs or what you feel or the stereotypes or anything like that. This is about projections and numbers. And anybody with any kind of business savvy, any kind of foresight, anybody with any kind of vision know that the league is trending in the upwards way. And when you look at the college players and how phenomenal they are, whether it be a Hannah Hidalgo, a Juju Watkins, um, Audie Crooks, Madison Booker, that's coming along as well. All of these great players, Jazzy Davison has been doing phenomenal, Olivia Miles, all these great players are going to be in the league and it's going to create even more parity. They're creating more teams. They can have more players and it's going to be even more interesting once they get to like 20 something teams because the playoff system is going to be even more intense. The competition going to be intense because you have to think about all of the players that can't make the league because there are only what 12 or 13 teams. So when it gets to 20, you're going to have more opportunity, a better draft system, all of these things that come along. So it's a great step in the right direction, as I said before. So the people behind the scenes are not pulling numbers out their butts. They're actually looking at the projections and looking at the numbers and looking at what they have coming in as well as what's going out. And it looks very promising for the future for these women and for the fans alike. So, um, so the numbers are the numbers, as we said before. I know it was a report recently that the NBA's numbers didn't look too good, and that's because usually the NBA plays second fiddle to a lot of different things, whether it be the Super Bowl for that weekend, that weekend, or it's March Madness, or it's the MLB series. It's a lot of different things that the NBA takes second fiddle to, so their numbers are going to be affected. The WNBA usually plays at a time where there are no sports around, so they don't really have to compete with much except for MLB, but they have so many games similar to the NBA, which is their problem. They have so many games, it's difficult for fans to keep along. There's so many different apps and streams to watch, and it's just a lot. You have to be a super fan to keep up with all of this. So the WNBA is more condensed, it's more Amazon, and then, their league package was only like $35 for a whole year opposed to the NBA or NFL, which is hundreds of dollars. So it's very affordable and obtainable for those WNBA fans to get to get the games that they want to see. So I think the WNBA will eventually get up to somewhere to where the NBA is, just because of the sheer fact of the amount of games they play. But of course, when they add more teams, they'll probably add more games as well because that'll help the TV money and it'll help the ratings and all these different things. But in 10 years, I do see a great visibility for the WNBA, and this CBA deal is just the beginning of everything to come. So, maybe in 10 years, there'll be a whole nother outlook, a whole nother perception of the league. So tell me what your thoughts about this WNBA, CBA, and until next time, I'll see you next time.